And I'm gonna get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over.
You know, he coming behind his jab, he throwing straight punches, he going to the body, going in up and down. He just got to tighten up a little bit on his defense, but other than that.
In a sport where arguments never stop, the pound-for-pound top spot is always questioned. Fans and media go back and forth. But one of boxing's most dangerous fighters has finally shared his view. David the Mexican Monster Benavidez has commented on Terence, but Crawford, though, it is not a challenge. When Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez, he did more than win a match. He took the throne from the undisputed leader at 168 pounds. The champion, who once seemed untouchable, was handled by a smaller fighter who jumped 2 weight classes.
More of
Hell
boxers?
Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
3-time undisputed. He just beat Canelo.
Yeah.
The face of boxing. So now you can say Bud is the face of boxing.
Greatest of all time, or?
Greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it could never be one great.
Yeah.
But
As an undefeated multi-time champion, Benavidez understands what it takes to rule at the highest level. His words about Terence Crawford were more than respect. They were a clear crowning moment. In a sport filled with ego and constant call-outs, Benavidez, a man who believes he is the best, did something rare. He did not just praise Crawford. He placed him among the elite in boxing history. He called him one of the greatest ever a fighter who achieved something only a few have reached.
Because, you know, he beat, he did something I didn't think he was going to do. You know what I mean? He beat Canelo. You know, that's 3 weight classes going up. You know what I mean? And he made it look pretty easy. So,
Coming from one of his most dangerous rivals, that is the kind of praise that makes people stop. Benavidez saw what Crawford did moving up in weight to take every belt. He recognized it. But what he shared next shows why Crawford is truly unstoppable. When he was asked what impressed him the most, Benavidez did not talk about speed or footwork or switching stance. He pointed to something you cannot teach: heart. He was shocked that Crawford, already far ahead on the scorecards, chose to stand and trade with a bigger puncher like Canelo in the later rounds.
was Crawford's ability to stay focused in the fight, and not only just to stay focused in box, but he also got rugged in there. You know what I mean? He started balling with him towards the late rounds. You know what I mean? That's something I appreciate in a fighter. You know what I mean? He was already up. He could have chose to just box, but he went in there. He tried to brawl with him in the last round. So that's really what impressed me, his heart.
His heart more than anything impressed me. Crawford did not just look to win. He looked to dominate. He carries a non-stop drive, a killer instinct that never lets him settle for an easy victory.
Good fight for, I think it's more important for Crawford than anybody, you know, but I think if anybody could beat Canelo, I think Crawford could.
Yeah, I know you said like he could be the guy. What kind of a chance do you ultimately give him?
I think you give him like a 7 out of a 10.
Oh, wow, that high. I thought you were going to say like 25.
No, Crawford is good. Crawford is good. And
of course.
I think he's been known that he's going to fight Canelo for a long time. And, you know, Crawford, he likes to pick up the weight. So I'm sure he's been working on the weights for a long time. So, you know, Crawford, when he has, with a person that has big IQ like that, if you do enough weights, you know, and you stay working for a long time, you know, you have a puncher's chance.
That, in Benavidez's eyes, is...
In Benavidez's view, that is Crawford's true weapon. It is the reason he believes Crawford will probably never be beaten. He has world-class skill, but it is his fierce mindset that makes him different. And according to Benavidez, that is the very thing Canelo Alvarez no longer has.
Get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather is the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. No, but that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that, and not only to go do that to show the world that he's really like that.
The praise for Crawford came with a sharp edge because Benavidez used it to go straight at Canelo Alvarez. After calling Crawford one of the greats, he turned to the man he had wanted to fight for years and delivered a tough message. Benavidez pointed out what he believes is Canelo's biggest weakness, the real reason. He was not just beaten, but embarrassed. It was not about lacking skill or power. Benavidez said the problem was Canelo's huge, uncontrolled ego. To him, this was more than a loss, it was a wake-up call. He did not soften his words, accusing Canelo of disrespecting both his opponent and the sport. Benavidez said Canelo did not take the fight seriously, barely throwing more than a handful of punches while walking forward and believing his own hype. In his eyes, Canelo's ego made him think, I will just walk through Crawford land one clean shot and end it.
That was my moment. You know what I mean? If I would have gone in there, I know I would have beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be a hater, but that's kind of how I feel. But you know what I mean? I give all the flowers to Crawford. You know what I mean?
That should have been me in there. That should have been my.
If I would have got that fight, I would have been me. I would have been the one getting my hand raised. But like I said, it didn't happen, and that's why it didn't happen, because Canelo knows.
Benavidez made it clear that in boxing, that level of arrogance can be deadly. He finished with a sharp warning every fighter should hear. Canelo's ego, the very trait that built his superstar status, was in the end the same weapon that caused his defeat.
That Canelo was making, and I know all these people say, "Oh yeah, you know, talking shit about Canelo." I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. He's throwing 10 punches around, or I think it was his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just gonna walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's gonna be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only has he had the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there. He was brawling with Canelo like in the 8th, 9th, getting the best out of him. Boxing, he's epitome of a great boxer. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that fight. You know what I mean? If you really want to make something come true and you really believe it, you can make it come true. And then the other lesson is, don't let your ego get the best out of you. And don't think that you don't have to prepare because you're a bigger fighter. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Canelo dethroned the boxing world, immediately turned to the next big matchup. The relentless Terence Crawford against the most avoided pressure fighter in the sport, David, the Mexican monster Benavidez. It looked like the perfect passing of the torch, the new king versus the uncrowned king of fight for the heart of the 168-pound division. Excitement soared. This was the matchup everyone wanted. But when asked about it, Benavidez shocked everyone. He did not just say no, he completely dismissed the idea. He made it clear he has no interest in fighting Crawford. His reason was as surprising as his refusal. I'm done with 168, he declared. He is finished with the super middleweight division and would not even move down for a massive payday against Canelo. So a fight with Crawford was never an option.
This fight, I want to go down to 154. No, bro. I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity, though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, congratulate Crawford. He put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, let Crawford do his thing, bro. At the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. The only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo, and I'm just being real with you, and let Crawford do his thing. Let him have his, let him. I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, when Crawford, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, but Crawford is a man at 168. That's his weight.
In a blunt, almost dismissive statement, Benavidez shut down boxing's biggest possible fight. He simply said, "Let Terence Crawford live. That is his weight class." With those words, he walked away from the division, the fans, and the matchup everyone wanted, leaving Crawford as the undisputed king.
That's good, but Canelo is, great. We just gotta see the fight, man. We all want to see the fight.
Do you think he gets him to the body? Because Boo Boo was landing a lot of body shots.
I don't know. That's why I said we gotta watch the fight. You know what I mean? It's a different style, different type of fighter. You got two strong fighters going head to head.
Is Canelo the only 68U fighter? Would you consider a Benavidez?
Yeah, Canelo.
But why would he really do this? Why would a fighter leave a division with the biggest names and paydays just as he's at the top? Here's the side many fans miss. Benavidez has a troubled and controversial history at 168 pounds. He is the only two-time champion to lose his world titles twice without ever being beaten in the ring. His first reign ended when he was stripped of the belt after testing positive for cocaine. After winning it back, he lost it again, not in a fight, but on the scale failing to make weight. That division holds a complicated, painful past for him. Cutting down to 168 pounds is harsh and has cost him everything before. Now the Mexican monster is on a new path. He is not looking back. He has officially left his old kingdom and is moving up to 175 pounds, even eyeing cruiserweight. He is chasing greatness in new territory, targeting light heavyweight stars like Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol, and even wants a fight with Jermall Charlo.
Cruiserweight. So we're already in talks of that, you know, and then that's definitely a fight that has to happen because I used to spar him when I was 18 years old. All the way, you know, I sparred him a lot, so I know that's a pay-per-view fight. So it was a pay-per-view sparring session, so the fight is going to be, you know, way better. But yeah, definitely, that's in my sights. You know, I definitely want to go up to cruiserweight. You know, I want to be a reigning defending champion at light heavyweight and then make my way up to cruiserweight. But
He's leaving the...
He is handing over the 168-pound throne to Crawford, a fighter he clearly respects, but has no plans to fight.
That's cheating. I love it. That is cheating.
That's a heel turn. You the boss. I love it. That's a heel turn. I love it. You do that five.
Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Roy at his peak. Just remember this. If Roy would have retired after the Ruiz fight, he would have replaced Sugar Ray Robinson as the greatest fighter of all time.
I agree.
Right? But he didn't, and the rest of that stuff is in there, right? So I get it. But Roy at his peak, I think, had a higher peak than anyone on this list.
I agree.
Okay, Manny Pacquiao, we've all said it a million times. I think he is, outside of Sugar Ray Robinson, I have Manny Pacquiao's second greatest pound-for-pound fighter ever. Floyd Mayweather never lost. And did he cherry pick when and where? Yes. But guys, from 130, 135, he cleaned out 135. He beat the best guy at 130, beat the best guy at 135. Yes, did he pick and choose at 140, 47, and 54? Yeah, but he won all those fights.
That's right.
And he beat a lot of good fighters.
You
And more than that, put Floyd at...
It leaves boxing with one major question. Did Canelo's huge ego not only cost him his titles, but also rob fans of the true super fight? Or is David Benavidez simply avoiding the one fighter he just put on his Mount Rushmore? Stay updated with the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Glove Lord and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Don't forget to watch our other videos as well. Until next time, take care and stay safe.